What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy, and here's my next episode of Joe Winko Talk. This is going to be a gloomy episode of Joe Winko Talk. It's not entirely about myself that much, but it's going to be about something that happened a really long time ago. This is going to be about the time I visited Joplin, Missouri last month, or 2 months ago. I went through Joplin, Missouri, on the way back from Arkansas, and I wanted to go to Joplin, Missouri too, on the way back from Arkansas. As you guys know, the guy I met on Craigslist took me there. And Joplin, Missouri, something really sad happened there a long time ago, something really sad and tragic. It was hit by a tornado on May 22nd, 2011. It was a powerful F5 tornado, and it killed 163 people. Now, I heard of tornadoes before, but before this year, whenever I thought of tornadoes, I never really thought they were I did think they were scary, but I never really thought that much of them. I might have heard of, I do distinctly remember hearing of Joplin briefly, way back in 2011 when it happened, but all I remember was probably getting a glance of it on the news that of a town that got hit by a tornado and a lot of people died, and I think that it was Joplin. That was what I heard of because it was back in 2011. But I didn't really get onto the subject of the Joplin, Missouri tornado until the psychic told me that I was going to be killed by a tornado. And I'll have the link to that video in the pinned comments because I have a whole episode of Joe Winko Talk where I talk about that, but it's not actually going to happen because my adoptive parents are sending me down south to live. So, yeah. But, after that, when the psychic told me that I was going to be killed by the tornado, I started doing a lot of research on tornadoes, and that's how I came across the Joplin, Missouri tornado. And I was shocked that so many people were killed by tornadoes, because usually when I think of tornadoes, I think of you just get in the basement and hide, or they're not going to do anything bad or anything. And I knew they could tear down houses and that was it, but I never really knew how powerful these tornadoes could actually be. And I live in Wisconsin for right now, as you guys all know, and we always get tornado watches from time to time, but we never would get worried about them. We'd hear them on the news, storm warnings and everything, but we never would get worried about them. And some tornadoes have hit around my area before, and I've seen the damage, but they're it's pretty minimal damage, what I've seen around my area, the tornadoes that have hit. But, when I first went to Joplin, on the way to Joplin, I wanted to go there to see if there were still signs of tornado damage, because it was a really powerful tornado that caused a lot of damage and everything. And I wanted to record the route of where the tornado went and everything, but when I got there, I kind of decided not to do that at all. The guy who I met on Craigslist, the stranger who took me on the ride to Arkansas and to Joplin, Missouri, we stopped at a gas station, and he put some gas in the car, and then he went in to pay for the gas. And he said that, I waited in the car because I was looking at the map of where the Joplin tornado went and everything. This map. This is the map of all the damage that happened. They did change a lot of the roads, though, the way they're shaped and everything, but most of the roads, still have the same names, but where they turn and everything, they did change quite a few of those. And I was looking at that map, And after he paid for the gas, he got in the car with me and he told me that he asked because he knew I was there for the Joplin tornado. He told me that he asked the gas station worker about it, and she said that she was there when it happened, and she said that the tornado was right in that area, and she said that it went that way, and she said that it started around here because she explained where it went and everything. And we were driving around, and I did see like some signs of damage. They're very minimal. Like some trees were a little bit twisted and stuff like that, or some trees were like knocked over, and everything looked all like new and like fresh and everything. And some places didn't have any trees at all. And we parked at this office building because he said that if I asked around, I might be able to find something. We parked at this office building, and I got out of the car by myself, and then I walked inside this office building, and there was a receptionist there, and she asked me, can I help you? And then I asked her, because I was actually looking for the Joplin memorial, because the gas station worker, she said that there was like a memorial park built to honor all the victims. And I asked her, does she know where? I asked her, do you know where the Joplin tornado memorial park is? And right when I asked her that, she looked me in the eye, and she had this blank look on her face for a couple seconds, and then she just got really sad, and she started tearing up, and then she was like, she's going like this and everything. She said she didn't know where it was, and she just looked really upset, and I was like, oh gosh. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. And she didn't say anything back. She was just wiping tears away. Then I walked out of the building, and, after that happened, I thought about it, and I thought, no, I shouldn't follow the path of where the tornado hit. I shouldn't be recording where damage still is. I shouldn't be doing any of that, really. That's what I felt, because I was like, I didn't think that would be right at all, because I said that this affected people's lives, and I knew that it affected people's lives, but like I was thinking, I shouldn't be pointing out signs of where tornado damage still is and where signs of everything still is. But I eventually did find the memorial park, and I have a video of me there too. I'll have the link to that in the pinned comments. And I was thinking, this is what I should show instead, this memorial park they built, not where the tornado went through, not all the damage and destruction, right here instead. And first of all, they didn't even, the gas station owner told the guy who took me there that most everything has been rebuilt and everything has been repaired and everything. And I recorded the video at the memorial park, and it was a beautiful memorial park. I really loved it there. And I rewatched the video again, and I kind of felt sad while I was watching it, because I felt like I was being a bit disrespectful to all the people who died in Joplin. Now, for all you who don't know, I actually do believe in ghosts and spirits and everything. And I think when someone dies, something of them is still left behind. And when I was there, I kind of felt nervous because I felt like they were all like still there, all the people who died in the Joplin tornado, and that they all knew why I was there and everything. And I just want to say that I'm not sure if they would even know about this, but I just want to say that I'm really sorry for being disrespectful in that video, because I felt like I angered the spirits of Joplin, Missouri, because you can hear like this wind roaring in that video, and there was no wind at that park when I went there. There's no wind at all. It was really hot, like 96 degrees. If there was wind blowing, I would have noticed it, but there was no wind blowing at all. I was just walking along there, and like you hear the wind blowing, and they said that I think I think what I said at that park that was disrespectful was when I said that I have all the time in the world. That's where you really hear the wind blowing right after that, and I watched that and I just was like, oh no, and I just felt really bad because like even in that video I was kind of like you could hear me like chuckling a bit, but it wasn't because I was laughing at what happened at all. I wasn't making fun of what those people went through. I just want you guys to all understand that I just felt really nervous about being there, like not really a scared nervous, but I was like, oh gosh, I'm actually here, this is where it all actually happened and everything. And I don't think a whole lot of people, like 163 people, died in the Joplin tornado. I don't think that it was like every single person who died was angry at me, but I definitely felt like something. One of the, like some of the spirits, or one of the spirits, or how many of them were kind of upset with me for being there and everything, and with knowing what happened and knowing why I went there. It kind of was like disaster tourism, kind of. And disaster tourism, sometimes it's not really a good thing, really. That's worthy of no whole other video, but I wasn't there to like make fun or mock the victims at all. I just wanted to get the story out there to let everyone know that this happened so people never forget, really. Like even people who don't live in Joplin, so they never forget what happened to those people and what they all went through. Because if I died in a storm or by anything, I would want people to know what happened, and that's basically the reason why I post all these videos, so people know about me and know what happened with me and know about what happened in my life and everything. And so people know about how I felt about Joplin, Missouri and what happened there. That's why I'm posting this video. And next I went to the cemetery and I wanted to visit a grave of one of the people who perished in the Joplin tornado. His name was William Norton. He was one of the victims of the Joplin tornado, and he was a very, very beautiful man. He was only 18 years old when he died, and here's a picture of him right here. That's him. And he actually kind of reminded me of my uncle, sort of, because he had blue eyes, and my uncle had blue eyes. And also my best friend who was murdered back in 2006 had blue eyes, and my twin brother also had blue eyes. But another thing about him was he was actually a famous YouTuber. He had 4,000 subscribers at the time of his death, and I read about him before I came there, and I really wanted to visit his grave and do like a video at his grave, like kind of like a tribute or a homage to him. Really, I wasn't trying to like mock him or be disrespectful at all. That was not my intention. I just want to make sure everyone knows that that was absolutely never my intention to mock or disrespect anyone. I didn't mean to make it seem like I was trying to, because I definitely wasn't. But I felt like we did have a lot in common, because in the video I recorded at his grave, I mentioned that we both posted videos on YouTube, and the way we talked and everything, we had the same mannerisms, like the way I talk and the way he talk, but I actually kind of take that back now. I shouldn't really say that about people, because as you guys know, I'm actually mentally ill. I have autism and a bunch of other stuff I was diagnosed with, and some people might actually find that insulting for me to compare myself to someone, so I take that back, and we actually didn't really have quite the same mannerisms, because I was watching his YouTube videos again. But we did both have YouTube channels, and we both posted videos on YouTube. His videos are actually still up to this day. I'll have the link to his YouTube channel in the pinned comments. And we were both quite experienced with video editing too. From what I saw on his YouTube channel, we definitely were. He knew how to use green screen and everything. I thought that was really cool. And another thing was, he was 6'3", and I'm 6'3", because his tombstone, the cross on his tombstone, is 6'3", and I read that on Find a Grave, and that's how tall he was, and he was proud of it. And it's the same way I am. I'm proud. I like being 6'3", and I'm proud of my height too. And we were both the same height. And another thing was, he was killed by a tornado, and the psychic told me that I was going to be killed by a tornado. I did a video about that last summer. I'll have a link to that in the pinned comments. So that was another thing I felt like we kind of had in common. He died on... The tornado happened on May 22nd, 2011, and he was killed by it. It happened right after his high school graduation. He was driving home from his high school graduation, and his dad was in the passenger seat with him, and the tornado was right on them. And his father said that he started quoting Bible verses while he was driving Will, and he said he didn't know that he knew Bible verses, but what they believed was it was God talking through Will and telling him that it was his way of saying that Will was going to be with God again, and that God was going to be taking Will. And then what happened was his father was trying to hold on to him, but he got sucked out of the roof of the car, and he was missing for a while, and his family were really worried about him, and they were looking for him. And after some time passed, later on they found him. What happened was the tornado sucked him out of the car, and it threw him into a pond, and it piled debris on top of him, and he was pinned down in the water, and he drowned to death. And when I read about that, it made me feel really sad, because he died the same way my twin brother died. My twin brother was also died by drowning, but he wasn't sucked out by a tornado. What happened was my biological father went crazy and tried drowning both of us in a sink, and I survived, but my twin brother died, and that was way back when we were infants. I already mentioned that in another video, my sleep paralysis episode of Winko Talk. I'll have a link to that in the pinned comments. But I recorded a video at his grave, and I rewatched that video, and I rewatched the video I recorded myself. And if you look in that video, you can see that I kind of like smirked a bit and everything, but that wasn't... I just want you all to know that was not a laugh smirk at all. I was just really nervous about being there, really. I wasn't like scared or anything, but I just felt nervous, like, okay, I'm here. This is his grave, and this is him. This is him right here. Okay, what should I say and what should I do now? That's how I felt, really. And also in the video, I was like putting emphasis on saying that I was wearing my bandana, because I wear this in all my YouTube videos. The reason why I was putting so much emphasis on that was because people see me wearing my bandana all the time, and they say, and like if I go to someone's grave, I thought people might say, oh, why are you standing and recording a video on someone's grave looking like that? That's disrespectful, and not having a shirt on or anything. The reason why I did was because like I wear this in all my YouTube videos, and I wanted to come there as I was, really, like out of respect, because he was a famous YouTuber also, and wanted to come like wearing what I wear in all my YouTube videos, like out of respect for him. Like come as I was, really. I'm not sure if that made sense, but that's the reason why, really. So I hope you guys understand that. But when I went to his grave, as you saw in the video, there's a picture of him on his grave. And I didn't notice that when I saw it hit the picture of his headstone on findagrave.com. I didn't notice it until I was standing over his grave and I looked there, and like right when I looked down, like I saw the eyes, like his eyes in that picture, like look me directly in the eyes, like staring back at me. And right away I felt his presence, and I always feel that whenever I'm standing on someone's grave. I always feel their presence, like they're there with me and everything. But when I was there, however, it felt stronger than any presence I felt standing on someone's grave before. You know that feeling you get when you walk inside a room and someone else is in the room and they look at you and they see you and everything, and you right away sense that they're aware of you and that they know that you are there and that they are aware of your presence and that they're aware that you're there. That's the exact feeling that I was feeling when I was at Will Norton's grave. And I had flowers there, flowers that I picked up in Arkansas. And I felt really bad. And I was like, you always hear stuff, read stuff online. I never thought that the Joplin, Missouri tornado was like a conspiracy or anything. I always knew that belief that it actually did happen. But you know, it's just different reading about stuff that happened online, but then actually going there and where it all actually happened and being there where it all actually happened. And it's just like, it's like, this actually happened. This was real, and this really happened to him. And I felt really bad, and I felt really sad for him too, because I felt like it was really unfair, because I remember reading about that he was planning on going to California for filming school and everything, and he had plans and everything, and he was so excited to graduate high school. And I stated that me and him had a lot in common, but then I remember a while ago I saw the video his sister recorded when she was talking about him, and when I watched her video of her talking about him, she was sitting in his room talking about him, and she was talking about her brother Will. That's when I knew that we didn't have much in common, actually. Because the way she described him, she was saying that he never got mad at anyone. He was such a really kind person and everything. I definitely believed that too. But the way she described him in that video, and then I thought of myself, and I was thinking, wow, you can search the depths of hell to the Ozarks of heaven, and you absolutely will not find anyone in existence to describe me the same way she described him. So that's when I saw her describe that in that video and everything, that's when I thought, okay, no, we don't have much in common, actually, at all. And just in case you're all wondering, I'm definitely not planning on contacting his family or any of his friends or any of them at all, because I definitely, first of all, that'd be really messed up, because it would just be like refreshing a wound, just like what I did when I went into that business place and asked where the tornado memorial was. And another thing is, I definitely don't think they would appreciate a mentally ill person being obsessed with what happened with their town and with how their friend or their son or their brother passed away. So, like, no offense to them, I definitely understand why they I definitely understand why they wouldn't be very, like, thrilled by that at all, in lack of better terms. I definitely understand why, and they have every right not to, so I was just not going to do that. I just wanted to go there to see his grave and to pay my respects to him and everything and leave the flowers by his grave. Because, you know, I put myself in his position, and I thought if something would have happened to me like that, and if I would have died, I would want people to know what happened. I wouldn't want people to forget. I'd want people to leave flowers by my grave and everything. And I'd want them to record videos on my grave, and I'd want them to post them, and I'd want them to post videos of them talking about what happened to me and everything, and I'd want them to get my story out there, and I'd want them to know about what happened. That's how I felt. I'm not really sure about them, but that's exactly how I felt, so that's what I did. And right when I got there, I felt that he was there with me. But then, you know, even after I left, I felt like he was still following me. And, like following me. Like, even during the ride home, I felt like he was following me. And I wasn't afraid at all. I wasn't, like, freaked out or afraid at all or felt, like, nervous or intimidated or anything. I just felt like he was there and he was just following me. And it wasn't scary or eerie or anything. I just felt like he was. And during the ride home from Missouri to Wisconsin, we go through Illinois. And Wisconsin is not a tornado state. It's not like a serious storm state or a serious tornado state. However, Illinois definitely is, especially in the southern and central part of Illinois. That place gets hit with tornadoes a lot. So we were driving up through Illinois, and it was thundering, and it started storming, and it was dark outside, because the guy I met on Craigslist, he dropped me off back at my apartment late at night, and that's when I got home, like at 2 or 3 a.m. kinda, and it was lightning and it was storming and the clouds were ruffling up and everything, and I could even see the lightning bolts and the flash and hear the thunder right as they hit. That means the storm is right over you. And my cell phone, I had it in my pocket, it kept buzzing and buzzing over and over again, and it was saying flash flood warning, severe rainstorm warning, or severe thunderstorm warning. And I still felt I wasn't afraid at all that whole entire ride home. I saw the clouds ruffling and it was thundering and storming. I wasn't afraid at all because I felt like Will Norton's spirit was with me that whole entire car ride home. Felt like he was just watching over me the whole entire time. And in a way, I felt like he was kind of protecting me also. Like making sure that nothing, like he was like watching over the car I was in, just staying by my side the whole entire time, and I wasn't afraid, not at all, because after the psychic told me that I was going to be killed by the tornado, whenever it started thundering and storming outside, I'd always get like really freaked out after that. And I'd always get really afraid, and like even when the clouds were I would even look outside and see the clouds moving, like while I was in my apartment, looking outside and seeing the clouds moving, and I would just get really freaked out and uneasy and scared and everything. And I even was having visions of tornadoes and everything, like how I described in my Dead Man Walking and Paranoid Schizophrenia episode of Joe Winko Talk. I'll have a link to that in the pinned comments. And in that video, however, I said in the Paranoid Schizophrenia and the Dead Man Walking episode of Joe Winko Talk, I said that when I found out my adoptive parents were sending me down south to live with relatives, that the vision stopped. And yeah, they kind of did at that time, but in all honesty, when they really stopped was right after I went to Will's grave. That's when all the visions, that's when all the like how I was paranoid about being killed by a tornado, and how I would lay in bed and be scared a tornado was going to hit and kill and like rip me apart while I'm asleep, and how I was always afraid of that and everything. That's when that's when it all stopped. That's when I stopped being nervous or freaked out or scared of tornadoes or clouds or storms or anything. And I definitely felt like William was there the whole entire time. And to be honest, that's really the reason why I wanted to go on a road trip to Arkansas. Well, also because I have a dark past story about Arkansas, like when I tried running away there forever. I'll have a link to that in the pinned comments. But it was because of the tornado visions. I felt like I just needed to get out of here and just needed to get away for some time and not sit up in this apartment so much, thinking about tornadoes all the time and being afraid of tornadoes. That's why I wanted to go on a road trip. So that's why I was looking for someone to take me to Arkansas. And in a way that it definitely did help. And when I went to Will's grave and stood over his grave and recorded that video there and left the flowers by his grave, I felt like he knew why I came there, and he knew about the whole tornado thing and what the psychic said and about what I was afraid of and everything, and I definitely felt like he was there. And in a way, he definitely did help me, because I could tell from watching his videos, he seemed like a very happy person, a very nice person. The way his sister described him in that video, he is a very nice person, very nice soul and everything. And I could tell that there was something about him that he wanted to help people and make a difference. And he did. Even 6 years after he passed away, he did. He still lives on and he continues to help people. And even when I came home and walked in my apartment and everything, I still felt like he was there. And I didn't feel afraid at all or anything. I definitely felt like he helped me with everything, even though I never knew him at all. He knew why I came there. I'm sorry, it's just... But, people online always say that, when people are dead, that they're gone forever and that there's nothing left of them, that souls do not exist. I did a whole episode of Winko talk about the person who said that souls didn't exist. I'll have a link to that too in the pinned comments. But I don't believe that. Definitely not. I have proof that they do exist. That was definitely proof. I never believed it in the first place, but that souls didn't exist. But souls are definitely real, and when people die or pass away, they never leave forever. They're still alive long after they live forever, really. After they pass away, their soul and their spirit lives on forever. And they still continue to touch people's lives and everything. And he definitely did. And William Norton, he still lives on. Even years after he's gone, he still lives on. And he's there to help people, and he continues to help people. And he will never be forgotten at all. Never will be at all. And that's another reason why I wanted to make this video, because I want people to know about him and how he helps people and is always still there for people. Okay. So that's basically it for this episode of Winko Talk. So please like and comment and subscribe and share your thoughts. What did you think of all this? Have you ever had learned about someone who passed away you never knew them at all, but then eventually, like, you never knew them at all while they were alive, but after they passed away, you did. I mean, even if, though they have, like, no ties to you, barely, like, you still did. And he still lives on. I know he does. And he knows that he helped me, and he's not a ghost. Definitely not a ghost. He is an angel. And that's what he is. Just like my uncle. Exactly like my uncle. And that's basically it. So don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. And that's it. Peace out, people. And don't forget to never forget William Norton. And don't forget to watch his YouTube videos too. I'll have a link to those in the pinned comments. Okay. Peace out, people.